we started Dads on the Fly, we were like, what are the 3 things we're most passionate about? And the 3 things we're most passionate about is our faith and being dads. And then right behind it, fly fish has just come in there and become the 3rd thing. To be able to bind those 3 things together and make it real. You know, say something you're not. You don't try to be something you're not. We're just dads who make mistakes. We're anglers who make mistakes. We're Christians who make mistakes every day. And having the conversations we have on the river are different than we have anywhere else. So it's crazy to think about it, but fly fishing for me started just kind of on a whim one weekend. Next thing I know, my father-in-law's gifted me with a fly rod for Christmas. Just so happens when I started going with my brother, and one thing after another, we just couldn't put a fly rod down.
You know, your older brother, when you're a kid, like, they're everything. I mean, you want to be just like them. I mean, you emulate them, you do. And my older brother's cool. When I was able to move to Canton, where we live now, and I was able to live just a few streets over from it, and then we found this sport that we were passionate about. And I got to see my brother in a new light.
Is there like a better method than me with my big fat fingers trying to get this on there? You know, we lived 2 streets apart, a street apart for years, and we fly fished, and then all of a sudden we didn't fly fish. And since the podcast, it's like an intentional reason for us to not only fly fish, but talk about things. I would just say it's pretty cool that your best fishing partner is your brother.
It was just kind of neat to be able to fall in love with the sport at the same time. And now here we are, like, doing all this fun stuff together.
I don't think we get competitive anymore. We used to. It's really more of a team effort now. Now, I mean, if somebody gets stuck in a tree and they miss the hole, then I'll go take that from him. And it's really not a competition anymore of who catches big. Like, I don't even feel that way. Maybe when we started, but when we go out, we just go out to catch fish. We're pretty blessed to live where we live and to hang out in a place like we get to hang out every day.
So through Dads on the Fly, we've gotten to meet some of the biggest names in the fly fishing industry. I'll never forget the first time, you know, we got to speak to like Tom Rosenbauer, who's just, you know, the king of fly fishing. And then, you know, we talked to guys like George Daniel, who just is the, you know, nipping extraordinaire, and he's written several fly fishing books. And we talked to Jim Klug with like Yellow Dog Fly Fishing. We've gotten to speak to these people, and these are guys, you know, who like I've looked up to as I've began to learn how to fly fish. But then we get to talk to people who nobody's ever heard of, like rod builders who are just making rods out of their apartment. Or we've spoken to guys who have started like small businesses that are helping third world nations and helping people come out of poverty. And you hear stories like that, and these names maybe not be well known, but it just shows you the variety that's in the fly fishing community of people who are just super passionate. And that's one of the things I love about the fly fishing community. They are literally one of the most passionate groups of people I've ever heard.
Somebody took me up into the park one day to catch wild fish. I was like, Caleb, we gotta start doing this. And over time, I mean, it's been like 10 or 12 years now, that's what we fell in love with. If we don't catch a fish in this hole, it's his fault.
Native Appalachian brook trout are, in my opinion, the peak fish to chase. And they're not big, they're not, you know, crazy fighters, but when you take them out of the water after you catch them, it looks like somebody literally took a paintbrush and just drew the most intricate detail. It's from their red bellies to their white fins to their spots with the little blue hues around them. They're just incredible.
2 and 3 weight fly rods, and for these aggressive, I like to call it just dry fly eating fish, and that's our best thing. We love to do it.
So yeah, man, I mean, fishing with Joshua is an experience in and of itself. Like I feel like I'm more intentional and slow and like want to pay attention and like look and study the hole first. And if I take more than 30 seconds to do that, Joshua's gone. Like he's fishing the hole before I am. He can't fish the hole in front of him because he's so excited about the next one. That type of personality is how he attacks kind of everything, and which is what's been great about the podcast. Because if it weren't for Joshua, this thing would not have gotten off the ground. We wouldn't have gotten to meet all the incredible people that we've gotten to meet and talk to, because that's who he is. He's constantly looking for someone else to learn from or someone else to talk to, because as we've seen in this community that we're a part of, it's just incredible. The more people we get to know, the more we fall in love with it.
So the future of Dads on the Fly is to keep meeting more and more people. We say it all the time on the show, to just encourage and inspire dads to get their kids outside. And for us, it's fly fishing. For people, it may be going out on a bike ride or going for a hike.
And as we always say, fly fishing is just kind of the catalyst for all of this. It's just kind of the thing that brings it all together, while we're all passionate about really the same things. As I think about 5 or 10 years down the road, some things I'd love to happen. I'd love for us to be able to create more spaces for dads to connect with one another. I think when we get dads that they're like-minded together and we get to chat with one another, it's incredible what we learn from each other's stories. I'm hoping that in the future we can have more opportunities to be able to do just that.
She's a decorative bowl. She's very good.